For my mom. Hold on.
Gotcha.
Does anyone have any questions for Ness? Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, what does Chune stand for?
Chune. I got my Caribbeans in here.
Chune.
Chune. That's what Chune stand for. Chune, that's like Chune, like T-U-N-E, but like, you know, with Jamaican and Pato, I'm like, Chune, you feel me? That was like, I'm like, I need a title. So I'm like, I'm gonna call it Chune, just straight music, you know? And the project it shows, look, remember, I was born here, and those who are born here knows it's different from being born there. So that bi-racial feeling, or just like bi-ethnicity feeling, like, how would I make a reggae tape, you know? And that was the goal. That was the project that I was figuring out. It wasn't conventional, you know? So I had to arrange, you see how I'm talking now, but it's different when I'm talking in patois, you know? So I was learning as we speak, so that's why I maxed out those credit cards to go twice to go there, you feel me? To figure it out, you know? But,
Excellent.
yeah.
So Chune is tune.
Yeah, Chune is... Yeah.
Excellent. Question.
My name's Chris. So would you say that this project was a tribute to where your roots are coming from? Like where you came from?
Yes, it's a tribute to where my roots came from, and it's a tribute, and then, yes, the incident is an example for those around me, you know? It's my debut. It's the big thing. This is me, you know? We're outside of film school, we're outside of where we came from. This is me, you know? And everybody's looking at you. Everybody's gonna judge it, win, lose, or draw. So it's like there was a lot of things I had to prove and things within myself that I had to face, because this is how I'm establishing. You only make one first impression.
Hi, I'm Evelise. How do you balance all of your many hats?
You gotta commit. You gotta make those sacrifices. You gotta say a lot of no's, you know? Like I said, when I was coming up, I was a lot of things. I was a lot of things for a lot of people. And in order to focus on myself, I had to move on from past versions of myself, you know? It's a lot of outliving certain things, you know? And you will go through that phase of people, because it also goes to your character. But until they see the final product, that's when they understand. But to answer your question, you gotta commit. It's all or nothing, you know? Like, am I gonna do the 9 to 5, or am I gonna be an artist? I went to film school for how many years? All right, let me be in front of the camera. Let me be the one that's pressing the button, you know? Instead of being a PA for 10 years, you know? Real talk.
Young man, what was your biggest lesson kind of in making the project? You know, you documented everything through the documentary. You did the movie, you did the album. I mean, like, what is the thing that you learned kind of making this whole process?
The biggest lesson is creating a story out of this. Now, this was a lot of multimedia phone, camera. I had to make a story out of 2-3 years worth of footage, you know, and make it make sense, you know? Now, I remember I had a filmmaker tell me, his name was Enrique Caballero, and I went to Israel with him when I was pitching to be editor, and he was telling me, like, you can edit, but you need to make sure that you're telling a story, you know? Like, you gotta edit with purpose, you gotta make it make sense, you know? It's those, and I did it for his film, you know? And it's those tribulations, because you want to show you want to show this to a theater of people to inspire them. I had to figure out the themes. I had to figure out. I had to kill the daisies for what I wanted to see, and I had to be like, all right, what should they see? What can they take to make them spread Chune? You know, because that's the end goal. While I'm putting these 6 months of editing into this.
Excellent.
What are some things that you learned about yourself? What was the takeaway that you got from the experience of making the album and the movie? Like, what are some lessons that you learned about yourself along the way?
The biggest lesson I learned about myself is I have a big ego. And that's not a bad thing. You need somebody to drive the boat. You need somebody to be the leader. And communicating it using your community. Yes, I have a big ego, but I will hold all these bags. I will wear all these hats till I crash out. And I've crashed out, you know? Straight up. I've crashed out wearing all these hats. When I just dropped that ego, my ego, it's not even dropped, but it defeated itself, me versus me. Then that's when I'm like, guys, I need help. And that's when it starts to make sense. Now, this person is realizing, oh, now they're realizing something about themselves that they didn't realize drew me. You know, and I'm noticing that habit, so that's why I had to check up on Joyce. It's like, yeah, you know, you were a director, right? I'm looking through all these footage, and like, you was really finishing my sentences. You know, you could do that, but you do here. She does amazing here, but you do here. You know, I'm just putting that out there. You know, but that's what I learned.
Awesome. I wanted to just, as a closing question to you, Ness, sitting here watching the film. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Go for it.
I like that you got support from your friends and your peers, and I like that you showed like everybody cared and like kind of about your project. Did you feel like you were getting a lot of support and help?
No, you throughout the process of being an artist and promoting yourself, and this is to those who plan on putting out their projects, not everybody supports you. Not everybody who is your friends or family are your supporters. There's a difference between fans and supporters. Supporters may do this and fans may do this. But you can't use that as to demotivate you or to change your tone to them. You just gotta notice how to utilize them the correct way, because the best way to make an enemy, my mentor Iris told me this, the best way to make an enemy out of a friend is to have them do something that they cannot do. So if you know that person can't come all the way to Brook, can't do transport, you feel me? But they could do the online well, utilize them for that. And when you're at a certain point where you have a mass amounts of fan base that you could designate how they can support you, then it'll be, all of that will be blurred out, you know? But you should know that that's the fundamental of people supporting you. Yes, sir?
I remember I was told back when I was in high school and everything, I've been told that I would not be a filmmaker, and that people refuse to let me know. People refuse to acknowledge that I've become a rising filmmaker, and I spoke about feeling overlooked. And I did say to myself, even if I'm currently on a short film, and I did say to myself, even if I was to win an award, a major award for my short or more shorts, people will still overlook me regardless. So how shall I overcome that?
Are you making it for the people or are you making it for yourself?
Myself.
All right, you won. You know? You won, you know? I'm not streaming crazy. You don't see mad numbers, but in real life, it goes hard, you know? That's what matters, and that's where you should put your ego in, you know?
Yes.
If you're doing it for other people, you're forever gonna be lost. You're forever gonna be lost because other people have their own lives and they're doing their own things. And to have somebody be a fan of you, you gotta earn that. So you gotta create something. Make projects for yourself for a very long time. Do that for yourself, get it out. But then when you want to become a professional in something, and be like, all right, now I want to fill the stadium. You know, there's a lot of strings that goes attached. All right, so make sure that what you did for yourself, other people can see themselves in themselves. That's why you gotta be authentic in what you create. Word, bro.
Nice.
I don't know a better way to close. I don't know a better way to close with that preaching. But I do want to say, just let us know what you want us to do next. What, as an audience, how can we support Chune and Ness?
How y'all can support Chune? I know exactly how y'all can support Chune. I can follow you everywhere. But just keep it in mind and remember my face. I'll support it naturally, you know? How you could support me is supporting yourself, because I now know you and you now know me. Now, if I got all these people that look at me and now you're doing something amazing, make sure you send it to the next person. Hey, I'm doing this thing amazing, show out to it, whether they respond to it or not, because social media is day room. And if that don't matter, you gotta throw that day reminisce out and just throw it out. It don't matter. What are they? Boom. Hey, I'm doing this. If you come, you don't. You do. And if they don't respond, send it to them again. Let them block you on Instagram for a reason. You feel me? Word of bro. You feel me? Now, when I show up to you doing your big thing, they're gonna be like, yo, that's Ness. And he did this big thing, you feel me? So if Ness is pulling up to this, oh shoot. No, I mean, this is a Face concert. You're in New York City, you know, you're watching Face. They're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna they're gonna look at you, they're gonna change their opinion of what you do, you know? That's just how this industry works, you know? It's not about, everybody's talented, but it's really a popularity contest in New York City. Then once you achieve that, travel outside, and then it's the other way around. The rest of the world does not move like that. You feel me? That's how you can supporting me is supporting yourself. All of y'all, you feel me? Like, you finish your projects. You see those demos? Make it happen. Or I have this idea for a film. I send me a demo for it. Or I want to make a beat. Or I want to bring this album together. I send me that. Let me hear it next. Let me hear it in this timely basis because a lot of people just talking. You know?
100%.
A lot of people just talking.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. One last round of applause for Ness. Thank you so much. Ness. Oh, and more.